I want to say tonight that any governor or legislator, Democrat or Republican, or even if you are black, that has chosen dominion over this community is scandalous.
Recently, a rally for ecological justice was held in Buckingham County. It is one of the numerous responses to Dominion Energy's plan to build a compressor station in Union Hill.
This proposed pipeline is a reckless, racist ripoff. Reckless, racist ripoff. And I want to illustrate those 3 R's. First of all, let me take them in reverse order. You heard a little bit about why it's a ripoff. I want this to sink in here. I want to talk about the climate impacts and the environmental impacts and the dangers, but this never should have been approved in the first place, purely on economic reasons. This is a ripoff. This is a colossal, world-class ripoff of the energy ratepayers in the state of Virginia.
Former United States Vice President Al Gore and Reverend Dr. William Barber were keynote speakers for the event. Gore heads up the Climate Reality Project. Barber is the co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign.
We understand the connection between systemic racism, poverty, and ecological devastation. And that's why we're here tonight on our way. And we got an invitation. I want the media to know we came here by invitation, because we don't believe in helicopter leadership. We didn't come here to lead the folk. We just came here to say, y'all fight like you've never fought before.
After the rally, Gore and Barber held a news conference along with Union Hill residents. Reporters bombarded the men with questions about racial discrimination and sexual allegations involving the top 3 state officials in Virginia's leadership. I questioned them about whatever happened to the phrase, "we the people."
This is one place where I do want to talk directly to the governor, because he has made some real claims about being against racism. He could stop this tomorrow. But it would require him saying that I choose the people of Virginia over a corporation. It would require him saying I choose the humanity and the safety of people over the money and the profiteering of a corporation. It would require him to make a deep, deep, deep moral decision. The kind of decision folk had to make in this country when they had to decide whether they were going to be on the side of slavery or on the side of freedom. The kind of decision people had to make when they may have gotten elected, like Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was elected and he was a segregationist, but the time came that he had to choose history and how he was going to be remembered in history, and whether or not he was going to be remembered as being on the side of segregation or on the side of freedom, and he made the right choice.
Gore responded by explaining the United States made a wrong turn. He says large corporations have become political actors.
When the Supreme Court ruled that corporations are people and that money is speech, now we see them flooding the political process with lobbying money and campaign contributions and spinning the revolving door and taking control of the political process and the regulatory process and the legislative process. And that's why so many horrible decisions have been made.
The former vice president gave an example of the Atlantic Coast Pipeline being tested by public opinion, or what he called the true marketplace.
It would fail both tests, but since they've greased the skids and the fix was in, they're able to get it approved, even though it makes no economic sense, even though it's environmentally racist, and even though it contributes to global warming and environmental pollution.
Barber rejected the idea of Virginia's leadership claiming residents are not interested in a compressor station being built in Union Hill.
These people should not have to turn out in the thousands. Lobbyists don't turn out in the thousands. They go one or two at a time, and they get all kinds of agreements.
While neither of the men would discuss Governor Ralph Northam's blackface and KKK yearbook photo, or Attorney General Mark Herring's blackface comments, nor sexual allegations against Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax, they both believe the timing is right to discuss not only racism, but also environmental racism.
First and foremost, I believe the governor, especially in this moment. Brother Gore said something to me the other day. This moment, maybe it was done for evil, but it's meant for good.
When Joseph was thrown into the pit,
that's right.
The Bible says a man intended it for evil, but God intended it for good.
Right.
And the horrible disclosure of that, those pictures, and I've taken no position.
Right.
That's for the people of Virginia. But in the aftermath of that picture being shown, the governor said he wants to dedicate his remaining time as governor to racial reconciliation. Well, here is the premier place to do that.
Right.
As Northam avoids the spotlight after a racist photo emerged, the former U.S. Vice President says the time has come for the governor to take a stand against Dominion Energy.
The only ticket for admission to redemption is a willingness to say to this large campaign contributor, I'm sorry, I like you, you've been good to me, but this proposal is not good for the people of Virginia. That's all he has to do. And then he's in like Flint.
That's right. And you can't apologize for racism in a picture and not apologize to the systemic racism being perpetrated among a people. I'm saying that. You can't have it both ways. You either got to be against racism or for racism.
But it was Barber who gave Union Hill residents a mandate.
Because every politician, I bet you, that ran, they came here. Some of them won't come here now, but they come when they want votes. I want to say to Union Hill as we prepare to leave, if they will not come here and do the right thing, the teachers have been going to their state houses and winning. In Virginia, in North Carolina, we did Moral Monday at our state house, and we won. Back in the day, they marched from Selma to the state house in Alabama, and they won. Maybe all of the citizens of Union Hill, whether they can ride, wheelbarrow, walk, or limp, Reverend, maybe it's time for Union Hill to go to the mountain, to go to Richmond, and sit down in some offices and stay there until the politicians' commitment to dominion is broken and they recommit themselves to the people, because there can be no reconciliation where there has not been conciliation.
Amen.
Amen.
I will be continuing this story with more footage from the Ecological Justice rally in an upcoming series. In Buckingham County, Elaine Rackley for Breaking Through News.